Hello everyone, Kappolo here. Welcome to the video about all the tools you need for Flesh and Blood. Whether you are a new player of the game or a seasoned player, in this video you will find a lot of information that is useful. If you want me to go on more details on the tools that I show you, please let me know down in the comments. Also, if I forgot any tool that you use and you find useful, also let me know so I can check it out. In this video we will cover the main Flesh and Blood website, tools on how to build decks to play online or to play at your local events. I'll go over to some tools that you can play Flesh and Blood online, also a couple of tools to learn how to play Flesh and Blood. After that we will go over some tools that cover cards and statistics about cards. Then I will cover the various Flesh and Blood content creators and how to find their channels and much more. All these resources will have a link in the description down below. So if you find a tool that you like in the video, check the description and click the link and go check it out. Let's get into it. First, let's cover the main Flesh and Blood website at FABTCG.com. Here you can find articles that are updated. As for now, we are in Dusk Until Dawn pre-release spoilers, so you can check articles about it. The Battle Hardened Los Angeles that I've been to. Then in here you also can find various card galleries and rules if you have questions about the rules, the Living Legend status for various heroes. Then if you want to find an event near you, you can use the event locator to find a store where to play. And also if you want some inspiration about decklists, in this decklist tab they publish a couple of decklists from the major tournaments, as you can see in here. This website is really useful if you're new to the game and for like the main official resources, so check it out regularly for updates. Up next we have two deck building websites which have also a couple of more resources besides deck building. The first one is FaBrary. In here you can browse decks in this tab. There are a lot of decks like user decks, decks from the tournament. You can also create your own deck, for example, in here. And creating a deck is quite easy. Just go into the create, you can pick an hero, and then from here there is this small card selection tool in which you can like put the cards that you want. You can add in a deck in the sideboard, and then after you finish building a deck, you will have a deck list, for example, like this one. And in here you can also edit the matchups. And here you can see I added a couple of matchups, which this can be used in conjunction with one of the online tools to play Flesh and Blood online to quickly sideboard with one click. And also you have statistics and like other information about this website. Is really deep on what they have. I use it mainly to build deck lists, but you can see, for example, for the spoiler season, we have the Dusk Till Dawn spoilers. You have like various heroes of Flesh and Blood, and you can read about the lore. For the lore, I would probably recommend to use the main FABTCG website. The other deck building tool that I've used in the past, I'm mainly using FaBrary right now, but FaBDB is also another great tool. A lot of people prefer it over FaBrary. I think it's slightly more visual than FaBrary. But in here you can search for decks, just like they have feature decks with some sideboard notes, they have other decks and tournament decks, etc. And then they have other tools like you can practice limited, have life counter, and feel free to explore it yourself. I just want to introduce to you this website. And then in here, if you go to my decks, you can create a new deck with this button here, and then we can pick the hero. And then it's similar to FaBrary. Instead of having the cards on the left, you have cards on the right, and you can add this to the deck, and you can see the statistics here on the right. And once you are complete, you have your own deck list here. You can check the sideboard, you can move cards to the sideboard if you want. And as FaBrary, you have statistics for the deck. From the same creators of FaBDB, we have Rathe Times, which is some articles about Flesh and Blood, You can browse some articles. When the new set comes out, there is a lot of decklist articles or strategy articles, browse articles. They're all really useful to read, and most of them are really good read. Recommend to check this out. Another place that hosts article is FABMETA.net. It's slightly less updated right now because the last article is for a couple of months ago, but the articles are really in depth. As you can see here, there's a new article for Katsu where you can see the various combos, and there's a diagram for combo, which is really useful. Another website where there are great articles. The last article website that I'm aware of is Channel Fireball, in which there is a lot of content. There are a lot of strategy articles from FaBrary, some video about matchups from FABREC, and some other articles. If you want to be updated with various articles from some of the professional players, check out this Channel Fireball Flesh and Blood website. The main website where people play games online is Talishar.net. It's a fan-made open source project in which you can play with your decks. You can import decks from FaBrary or FaBDB and play matchups. I've been using this website quite often to test out ideas or just pass some time, a couple of minutes playing some games. If you're lucky, you can find and match up with me in Talishar. Overall, this is a well-made project. There is still a couple of bugs every now and then, but the team is working actively on fixing them. Another tool to play Flesh and Blood online is Tabletop Simulator. This is a really good tool to play a lot of board games. I play Gloomhaven, for example, during quarantine. This Tabletop Simulator supports a lot of games. You can see in the community hub there is Monster Hunter World and various games. You can play 40k. But if you want to play with Flesh and Blood in here, you need to install this workshop that is called Flesh and Blood OSC. This used to be the main way to play Flesh and Blood online until Talishar.net took over the online playing space. Another way to play Flesh and Blood online is on felttable.com. You can play sealed draft, there's some learn to play, and quick match. This learn to play is actually quite good, but if you want to play, you can play against AI bots. You can give them a deck and then you can start the game. And this is looks almost like a video game, but you can play like Kodachi, for example, pay, and you can see it's quite visually appealing, but it's not suitable for player versus player as far as I know, but it's a great tool to learn how to play Flesh and Blood and get familiar with your decks. The last way that I know to play Flesh and Blood online is untap.in. You can play several board games. I've tried to play a game with it. I did not have a great experience, and there is really not Flesh and Blood games going on. It's mainly Magic, so just to be aware this exists, but I will not recommend it. If you want to play the draft portion of Flesh and Blood, there's Draft Fab, where you can create or join a draft. I know the Runaways team is running a couple of drafts through this platform. So you can create a draft, you can create draft or sealed, and then, for example, here is for sealed. You will open the packs and then you can pick what cards you want to add to your pool, and then you can export to FaBrary and then play it on Talishar, for example. And also you can create a game directly from here, and it creates a Talishar game. So it's quite cool if you want to try out drafts or sealed for your pre-releases. Now let's look at the tools for cards. Spellvoid, if you're familiar with Magic, is basically Scryfall, but only for looking up cards. They don't have support of deck building as far as I know, but you can search for cards. There's advanced search as well. I wish they added artists in here, so if you listen to the video, please add artists to the search terms. Well, for example, we can search for Teklo, and we can find all of this. Also, you can search for power and defense and all these values. The cool things, like you can see here, you have the legality, you have the prices, I think it's from TCG. So this is a really good tool to look up for cards if you are trying to deck build, or for example you want a blue that has 6 attack. We can search that pitch value is 3 and power is equal and greater than 6. So here is all of your blue with attack greater than 6, not greater or equal. And here is all the attack with a greater or equal than 6 that have pitch of blue. I know my brute friends really need this to look up for blue cards, not many options. Yeah, this tool has been really useful for me. I've used it basically every time I need to deck build or try to find sideboard cards. You can find like rule text. Another website from the same creators as Spellvoid is FaBrEC, and I think it's the same creator of EDHREC. Basically, it's a tool that shows you how to combine cards. For example, we can see Dash as our hero, and then we can see that Achilles Accelerators is used in 99% of the decks, Teklo Hard 91. So you kind of see how people are building decks. I'm not exactly sure where the data is extracted from, but gives you an idea on how to build decks and which cards are important in most of the decks. I recommend this if you want to build a new hero from scratch, you don't know where to start, and there are like a lot of deck lists in the website that I showed you before, and you kind of want to see just how people in general build a deck. This website is really useful. Another website in the same vein as the FABREC is Teklo Labs. I think it's been discontinued, but I'm not sure. But for example, we can search for a card that says Snapdragon, and here you can see like it's similar to what the FABREC does. They also have the ability to search up for cards, not for hero. But for example, for Snapdragon Scalers, these are like the cards that are most paired with Snapdragon Scalers, like Airline Strike, Razor Reflex, and Plunder Run. And which hero most often use Snapdragon Scalers? Cats is number 1, for example, and you can see here the rest of the heroes. This in combination with FABREC is probably a good idea if you want to build a decklist from scratch and add some inspiration. The last website that I want to show you for the cards is the Fab Cube. This allows you to create custom cubes. You have just card lists as we see in all the other websites, and this says that in the about that the goal is to provide a website for Flesh and Blood players to create custom cubes. This is quite nice. I know so far a few people have been maintaining cubes and it's just an Excel sheet. So this website is gonna be useful if you want to build a cube. Now let's talk about the Eye of Ophidia.net website. This website is really useful if you want to watch any of the coverage. For example, we can search for Dash, and you can see all of the various matches that have Dash involved in it. So you can go and look at the replay. Also, you can search for my name. You can see that I have like in here, and then you can just go click play, and then this is showing the match. You can see me in here, play against my friend Eugene, playing Dash against Kano. So this website is really useful. Also, you have events. You have all the major events like AGE Open, Battle Hardened, some RTNs, the Realm Roll. So it's really useful if you want to see how a hero plays in the hands of some good players and some not as good. For example, me, I'm not that good of a player, but I love playing Dash. But yeah, you can go over here and then click on the event Battle Hardened, and then you see the various matchup. The main core of the Flesh and Blood community for content are the content creators. There are people that do videos, deck tags, gameplay, covering news, box opening, etc. There are 2 Twitter lists that you should follow if you're on Twitter. There is the Flesh and Blood FABTCG list that is created by Melody Likes, and here you can see various Flesh and Blood personality, or like people that like Flesh and Blood and tweet good amount about Flesh and Blood are tweeting. And then the second list is the list curated by TCG Talk that has a bit less members. I think it is more focused on content creators instead of people in the Flesh and Blood space. And in here you can see Flesh and Blood content. So these are the 2 Twitter lists that I recommend. And then we have this video from TCG Talk, in which they showcase a lot of the creators in the Flesh and Blood space. It's showing an Excel file that I think you can find in the spreadsheets here. I'll put the link of the video in here, but you can see the various creators in here, and like here specific, you can find me here. Those should be most of the creators in the Flesh and Blood space. Go check out TCG Talk video that covers a bit of the creators and what they do, and go check out the creators in this Fab Creators Google Sheet. Lastly, I want to cover the Discord. This is the main official community Discord for Flesh and Blood, where they have a lot of discussions about all the heroes, and like there's a marketplace, there's custom cards creation, lore, some questions, some rulings. This is like your main hub in Discord for Flesh and Blood. There are several other Discord, like hero specific or creator specific, or there is the judge Discord, there's regional Discord too, based on where you live. But this is the big one, is the main one. And this is a hopefully short overview of the various resources that are available to you as a Flesh and Blood player, collector, or just aficionado that you can check out. If I forgot anything, please let me know in the comment below. Also, if there is enough interest, I will cover mobile phone apps to install on your phone to enhance your Flesh and Blood experience. But for now, this is it. Thanks everybody for watching. I will see you next time. Bye bye.